Hello BookTube, my name is Darcy, I'm 22 and I'm from Melbourne, and this is my book discussion video for this book, A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J Maas, aka Sarah J Maas, because that's how her books make me feel. This is the second book in the Court series. I'm not really sure what this series is called actually, but the first one is A Court of Thorns and Roses, and if you haven't read A Court of Thorns and Roses, I would recommend it. And if you haven't read A Court of Mist and Fury and you didn't really enjoy A Court of Thorns and Roses, I would still definitely pick this up, because for me, it completely blew A Court of Thorns and Roses out of the park. Like, completely smashed it. This review will be full of spoilers. It's not really a review, it's more of a discussion. So if you haven't read this book, go off and read it, come back, and let's go. So there are so many things I want to discuss about this book. First of all, holy crap. It was incredible. My expectations weren't incredibly high going into it, because even though I really enjoyed A Court of Thorns and Roses, it wasn't spectacular. Like, it didn't really hold a candle to the Throne of Glass series in my mind, but then this one, whoo! So today I'd like to discuss 7 things with you guys, 7 things that I absolutely adored about this book. The first one being character relationships. Feyre and Rhysand. Don't want to say I told you so, but I told you so. I always knew Rhysand was meant to be her love. Their relationship for me feels so healthy. They equal each other out perfectly. He listens to her, she listens to him. They accept each other's flaws. Or, well, rather than accept each other's flaws, they acknowledge that they have those flaws and then move on. I love that in this book, Feyre is actually developing friendships with people that are genuine and not built on a hierarchy system as it seemed to have been built, like with her and Lucien in the first book. It was like, yes, they became friends, but she was always aware that he was slightly above her, which leads me to the downfall of her and Tamlin's relationship. Thank goodness. I was calling it when I was reading the first book. I was thinking, I don't think this is a healthy relationship, because she is constantly looking up to him. He is on a pedestal. He clearly has the most control over the relationship and the decisions they make as a pair. Not a pair at all, because she is not considered whatsoever in decision-making processes. What happened to Feyre under the mountain was inevitably going to lead to depression and anxiety, post-traumatic stress, and staying with Tamlin only heightened everything that was going on in her head, because he is probably the worst person to help her through her mental health issues. He traps her, her body physically, her instinct tells her that she can't even look him in the eye anymore. It's just, it was cringeworthy to read the first, 50 pages. The first 25 pages, I was already sick of Tamlin. I was like, get him out of the picture. He's so bad for her right now. I loved all of the members of the inner circle of the Night Court. They were incredible. I especially love Moore. Actually, all of the characters, I have such a clear idea of who they are in my head. Sarah J Maas is so great at characters. She makes them interesting and complex, and she makes females just as interesting and complex and hilarious and gritty as the male characters. So I kind of touched on it before, but I do want to discuss mental health in this book. I love how Sarah J Maas handled the mental health issues in this book. Feyre didn't immediately snap back into feeling happy again. In fact, I don't think she's completely happy or mentally healthy even by the end of this book, but she's taking small steps and gradually getting better, which is actually the reality of mental health. You don't just fall in love and then all your problems are solved. And I think that's true for Rhys as well. Clearly he's going through really tough things at the moment with the nightmares. The biggest theme actually that I think this book holds is self-love and self-growth and self-respect, body image wise. Oh, well, Feyre's always hot, so I mean, is it body image? But I guess more body image, the sense of not feeling happy within your body, and then she gradually does become happy within her body through the help of all of the members of the Night Court. Rhysand is just such a perfect character. I love that he respects her so much, and even when they first do things sexually, it's all about Feyre. It's all about her getting instead of the girl giving all the time. Feyre gets to just, it was so good. I loved the slow realization Feyre had in seeing the flaws of the Spring Court. When she first sees it in A Court of Thorns and Roses, she just thinks it's the most perfect place in the world, and I love that this one kind of brought to light controlling behind the beautiful place. So to me, it kind of felt like the Spring Court was the right wing side, and then the Night Court was definitely left wing, you know, like, what's the name of that? Oh, Valaris. Valaris was the city of culture and art and people treating each other as equals, and everyone seemed to be on equal rations. There was, I mean, there were, yeah, kind of like higher class, but there wasn't such a massive differentiation between classes. It felt like a community where everyone respected each other and loved each other and appreciated art and culture, which is so left-wing and amazing. And it just suits Feyre better. Valaris suits Feyre better. The Night Court suits Feyre far better than the Spring Court does. Rhys's backstory was beautiful in every single way, hurt my soul so much. Another massive thing I loved about this book was Feyre embracing her sexuality, and some of those scenes, my goodness, I was reading on the train and I had to put the book down because if someone was looking over my shoulder and reading what I was reading, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. The ending of this book, my goodness, it wasn't really a cliffhanger. It's just set it up for the final book in this trilogy perfectly. I have been reading mixed things. Oh, just banged myself in the head. I have been reading a lot of mixed things about this book, but I personally just adore the crap out of it. I found it so interesting and addictive. As always, Sarah J Maas's books are completely addictive and I can never ever put them down once I start reading them, even if I have slight issues with them, which I did in Queen of Shadows. In fact, I'm pretty damn certain that this is my favourite book of Sarah J Maas's that she's ever released, which is a big thing because I adore Selena and I adore the Throne of Glass world. Feyre became real for me in this book. Did anyone else feel that? Did any of you guys feel that? I felt that she just became strong and likable, and she has grit to her now. She has far more complexity, and it's like she's not dreaming anymore. I felt like the Spring Court was just like this perfect fantasy for her, and the Night Court has kind of brought her back down to reality and shown her beauty, but real beauty, if that makes sense. I think I just relate to the Night Court far more than I did to the Spring Court. And once again, Sarah J Maas teaches us little lessons throughout the novel. This is on page 239, and it's Feyre speaking to Moore, and she says to her, "I want them to hear your story and know that there is a special strength in enduring such dark trials and hardships and still remaining warm and kind, still willing to trust and reach out." And that's beautiful, and yeah, it's beautiful. I know that this video was I didn't bring up any new interesting points, I don't think. I just wanted to gush about this book and I really want to discuss it with so many people. If you didn't like it, please comment and tell me why. I'd be really interested to know. I'm not trying to be like patronizing, you know. I'd be really interested to know why you didn't like the book. And that's again why I love Sarah J Maas's books, is because not everyone adores them. You know, she has a massive fan base, but there are some people who do bring up some, I guess, interesting little mistakes in her books, but I adore them, and I really, really loved this book. If you loved it, please let me know. I want to discuss this book a lot because so much happened. Also, one thing that I forgot to mention is I'm so disappointed in Lucien. I'm so disappointed in him. I feel like there will be, I only have one theory for the final book. I don't know what's going to happen in the final book, but one thing I reckon will happen is that Lucien will come to a crossroads where he'll have to choose between Tamlin and what is right, aka the Night Court, because I pretty much agree with everything that the Night Court does. I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to comment, like, or subscribe, and I hope you have a lovely day. Bye!